I never thought I'd become invisible in my own son's eyes. But that Wednesday afternoon, standing in their pristine kitchen with my daughter-in-law's to-do list crumpled in my fist, I realized I'd already disappeared. "You should be grateful she's giving you purpose, Mom," Daniel had said, not even looking up from his phone. That was 4 months ago, 4 months since I walked out of their house and didn't look back, 4 months since I last spoke to my son. My name is Margaret Chen, and I'm 72 years old. I raised Daniel by myself after his father died when he was 8. I worked 2 jobs, secretary by day, seamstress by night, to put him through college. I never remarried, never took a vacation, never bought anything for myself that wasn't absolutely necessary. Daniel was my world, my purpose, my everything. And then he met Vanessa. It started innocently enough 6 months ago. Vanessa called me one Tuesday morning, her voice dripping with honey. "Mom Margaret," she began, "I'd always hated that nickname. I was thinking, since you're retired and probably lonely in that big house all by yourself, maybe you could come help me with a few things, just until I get back on my feet after the baby." Their daughter, Emma, was 4 months old at the time. I'd been dying to spend more time with my granddaughter, so I jumped at the opportunity. "Of course, sweetheart, what do you need?" The first day she handed me a list, not a short one either, a 2-page, single-spaced, color-coded list of tasks: laundry, deep cleaning the kitchen, organizing the nursery, meal prep for the week, grocery shopping with a budget breakdown, even picking up her dry cleaning across town. "I know it seems like a lot," she said, bouncing Emma on her hip, "but I'm just so overwhelmed with the baby. Daniel works such long hours, and I barely have time to shower." I noticed her hair was freshly highlighted and her nails were professionally done, but I bit my tongue. She was a new mother. Everyone handles stress differently. By day 3, I was exhausted. I'd arrive at 7 a.m. and leave at 6 p.m., having cleaned, cooked, and organized, while Vanessa sat in the living room scrolling through her phone or having lunch with friends. Emma spent most of the day in her swing or playpen. "Don't you want to hold your daughter?" I asked once, immediately regretting my tone. Vanessa's eyes narrowed. "I hold her plenty when you're not here. Maybe if I had help that didn't come with judgment, I wouldn't be so stressed." I apologized and went back to scrubbing their bathroom. The breaking point came on a Thursday. I'd been there for 2 weeks straight, no days off. My back ached, my knees screamed with every step, and I developed a persistent cough from the harsh cleaning chemicals Vanessa insisted I use. I found Vanessa in the nursery, taking selfies with Emma. "Vanessa, honey, I need to talk to you," I said gently. "I love helping out, but I think we need to set some boundaries. I'm not as young as I used to be, and—" "Boundaries?" She turned to face me, her perfectly made-up face contorting. "Is that what you call abandoning your son's family when we need you most?" "I'm not abandoning anyone. I just think maybe 3 days a week instead of 7. "Daniel," she shrieked, loud enough to wake the dead. "Daniel, come here right now." My son appeared in the doorway, still in his suit from work. "What's wrong? Is Emma okay?" "Your mother," Vanessa said, her voice trembling with manufactured emotion, "says she doesn't want to help us anymore. After everything we've done for her, giving her purpose and a reason to leave that lonely house." "Mom," Daniel looked at me with disappointment. "Is this true?" "No, I just asked about maybe having a few days off. I'm tired, Daniel. I've been here every single day for 2 weeks." "Mom, she just had a baby, our baby, your granddaughter." He ran his hand through his hair, exactly like his father used to do when he was frustrated. "This is what family does. We help each other." "I am helping, but I'm not a housekeeper, I'm your mother." "You should be grateful she's giving you purpose, Mom," he said, his voice cold. "I worry about you alone in that house all day with nothing to do." Something inside me shattered. I looked at my son, this man I'd sacrificed everything for, and saw a stranger. "I see," I said quietly. I walked past them both, grabbed my purse from the kitchen counter, and left. Daniel called that night. I didn't answer. He called the next day and the day after that. Each voicemail was the same: "Mom, you're being unreasonable. Call me back so we can talk about this like adults." But I was done talking. I was done being treated like hired help in my own son's home. I was done being invisible. 4 months of silence followed. 4 months of sitting alone in my big, lonely house, as Vanessa had called it. 4 months of wondering if I'd made a terrible mistake. Then came the knock on my door last Sunday. I opened it to find Daniel standing there, looking like he'd aged 10 years. His suit was rumpled, his eyes were bloodshot, and he was holding a crying Emma in one arm and a garbage bag of baby supplies in the other. "Mom," he said, his voice breaking, "can we come in?" I stood aside, my heart hammering. Daniel walked to my couch and collapsed onto it, Emma still wailing. He looked at me with desperate eyes. "Vanessa left," he said flatly, 3 days ago, packed her bags while I was at work and went to stay with her sister in California. She said she needs to find herself and that motherhood is suffocating her identity." I took Emma from his arms and held her close, breathing in that sweet baby smell I'd missed so much. She quieted immediately, her tiny hand grasping my finger. "I'm so sorry, Daniel," I said, meaning it. "I've been trying to do everything myself," he continued, tears streaming down his face. "Work, take care of Emma, keep the house together. I haven't slept in days. I can't do this alone, Mom. I finally understand," his voice broke. "I finally understand what you did for me all those years, how hard it must have been, and I treated you like an employee," I finished gently. He nodded, sobbing now. "I'm so sorry. You tried to tell me and I didn't listen. I was so blind. Vanessa, she had me convinced that you were being difficult, that you were jealous of her, that you wanted to control our lives. But after she left, I found her calendar. Every day you were at the house, she was out, getting her nails done, having lunch with friends, shopping. She wasn't overwhelmed, she was using you." I sat beside him, still holding Emma. Part of me wanted to say, "I told you so." Part of me wanted to send him away, to let him feel the rejection I'd felt. But looking at my son, broken, exhausted, and finally seeing the truth, I felt only love and pity. "You're my son," I said softly, "and this is my granddaughter. Of course I'll help you." "I don't deserve." "No, you probably don't," I interrupted, allowing myself a small smile. "But that's what mothers do. We love our children even when they're idiots." He laughed through his tears. "I was such an idiot." "Yes, you were." That was a week ago. Daniel moved into my guest room with Emma. We've fallen into a routine. I watch Emma while he's at work, but he does the housework. He cooks dinner. He does laundry. He's learning what it means to be a real parent, not just someone who comes home to a clean house and a cared-for child. Yesterday, Emma smiled at me, a real, genuine smile, and grabbed my nose with both hands. Daniel watched from the doorway with tears in his eyes. "Thank you, Mom," he whispered, "for not giving up on me." I thought about that day 4 months ago when I'd walked out of his house. I thought about the anger, the hurt, the loneliness. I thought about my choice to stand up for myself, to demand respect. "I didn't do this for you," I said honestly. "I did it for me, and I did it for her." I kissed Emma's soft head, "but I'm glad we found our way back." Vanessa hasn't called. Daniel's lawyer says she's willing to sign over custody if he agrees not to pursue child support. My son is heartbroken, but he's also growing, becoming the man and father I always knew he could be. As for me, I'm no longer invisible. I'm not an employee. I'm a grandmother, a mother, and a woman who finally learned that sometimes walking away is the only way to be truly seen. And that's worth more than any to-do list.